This podcast is brought to you in part by P&P Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at their 2 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Bonus Stage Podcast. This is episode number 42. We're recording this on Friday, September 6th, 2013. It's almost Friday, September 7th, 2013, because of some problems that we had earlier today. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me this week, we have a special guest. Not the special guest that was supposed to be here, who we talked about with in the chat room. This is a new special guest, a special guest, Joe Fourhman. Joe, how's it going?
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
What are you reading?
Flash comic.
Oh, nice.
Happy to jump in and help you get a bonus stage underway.
Yeah.
Extra bonus.
Yeah, well, I thank you profusely because if a lot of the people in the chat room will know this. Yesterday we had we were doing Nintendo Pulse. And we were about at the 45-minute mark with me and Steven, and everything just shut down. My router died, or it went offline and back online, which never happened before. And I'm just like, oh, internet blip. That's really weird. We're having a bit of a storm, but it wasn't a thunderstorm or anything. Right. So it was really bizarre. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then next thing you know, my CPU spikes to 100%, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. Wirecast, the software I use to do my live streaming and capturing of video and audio, crashed. And I'm like, oh no. Skype died, of course, but that's Skype always dies. Skype is a piece of crap. But Wirecast crashed, and I'm like, oh no. I had 45 minutes of video. So I open up my video folder, and sure enough, there is a dead video file. That is just not
no
good.
Way to save it. No paddles to put on it and charge it.
No. And yeah, it's. I hope
that always stinks.
I've been in that.
Saves. I've been on podcasts where you get substantial content in, and then something silly happens and it goes away. Yeah. It's gone.
Yeah. See, when I used to do the shows way back in the day, I used to record my end, and Edgar would record his end or whatever. Back when I did the DS Life podcast or WeSpot. So we've had instances where one of our recordings didn't work, and it's and that's even worse because you can hear half the show. Now there's just this big pile of bits that's kind of crumpled up in a corner somewhere. I keep telling myself that I should have this hard media recorder or something hooked up to my mixer, so I'm at least recording the audio on something else. But it's never failed. This is the first time in 2 years of this setup where it actually failed. So I guess it's not that bad, but my fingers are so crossed that it doesn't happen again. And then today, I had another co-host for Jeff, and turns out that whenever he hooked up his mic into his computer, Skype would crash, and then his computer would crash, and he'd have to restart. And he restarted 45 minutes worth of restarts. So what is that? A dozen restarts? And we basically just said, okay, that's not going to work. Your computer's going to die.
We've done our due diligence here. 45 minutes is more than enough to assess.
Oh, exactly. So I sent out a mea culpa, please SOS smoke signal type thing on Twitter, and I got a tweet back from you, Joe. So I thank you. I thank you. And we'll have Lee on it at another time once we can get all the technology kind of figured out. It's super disappointing because Lee's actually from P&P Games, who sponsors the show. So it would have been really cool to have someone from the distribution side of things on the show to talk about the business and things like that. So I totally want to get Lee on it another time, but we'll do it when his computer isn't going to start on fire or something strange.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, Joe, how have you been, man?
Yeah, doing all right. We just finished recording our episode of our podcast, Tony and myself. So like your timing was pretty darn good.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. But now you have to talk for extra long.
Yes,
So
right. That's okay.
We'll make this one a quick one then.
I'm just going to roll my audio tape from our show, and I'm just going to say the same stuff, and you guys probably won't even notice.
And I'll keep saying, my name's not Tony, Joe. What?
Right.
What the hell? And you're talking to another Joe. You're talking to yourself. Like, this is so bizarre.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll get it. It's fine.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the show then. Basically, just wanted to mention that we're still going strong on our YouTube channel. So if you check out youtube.com/VGPod, still a lot of people coming by, a lot of people subscribing, which is really good. But even better, people are actually watching and thumbsing up, thumbsing.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that.
How do you conjugate thumbing up?
Yeah, it's weird. But there's a lot of that happening. Our Disney Infinity special has been viewed a lot, which is really good.
Cool.
But it's playing now, so I must stop that because I actually went there and clicked on it by accident. So yeah, if you guys want to check out what we do, if you're not able to tune in for the live shows, we got a full chat room right now. But I know there's a lot of you that subscribe to these shows and you maybe want to see what the video is. Head on over to youtube.com/VGPod and check that stuff out. Subscribe, comment, thumbs up, thumbsing upping as much as you want, and yeah, check all the stuff out. We'd love it if you did. Alrighty, well let's get into the show. So Joe, how about we let you go first because you haven't talked enough tonight.
Okay.
What have you been playing recently, Joe?
Well, still playing Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Nice.
And at this point, what more do you say about it? You're just waiting for the seasons to change. You're selling fruit. You're collecting furniture. My big excitement this week was that I had my fourth visit with Gracie.
Oh.
So I'm going to get the next shop upgrade, the final shop upgrade, I think tomorrow.
Nice.
I've
only talked to her twice, but I haven't played Animal Crossing for a long time. So
have you lost it? Is the mojo gone?
No, I missed a couple days, and now it's like I kind of don't want to go back because I don't want people to yell at me for being gone. And then the days keep ticking by, and it's like things are getting worse.
I don't talk to the villagers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. I don't care what they have to say. I make my money, and I want to have the biggest house. I want to have the biggest store upgrade, and I want to see the special holiday stuff. But like the silly stuff that the sheep or whatever is going to say, like I just don't even care.
Yeah, I should probably pay less attention to that, I guess. But it's like they're going to chastise me.
Right, yeah, they do. They come after you. They're heartless. They're ruthless animals.
They are evil.
On Vita, I've been playing Open Me. I'm just kind of making my way through those augmented reality puzzles, which I'm a big fan of. It's a pretty cool little use of the AR stuff, which I thought that both Sony and Nintendo forgot about the AR stuff entirely because we have heard so little on that front for so long. But what do you know? This game showed up. It's pretty good.
It makes me wonder if, not to interrupt you, but it makes me wonder if the 2DS is even going to ship with AR support cards in the box when it comes out because it has the 3D cameras.
It wouldn't have to because they barely do anything. Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's just weird. Weird.
They'll probably just include a little piece of paper that says, if you're interested in the AR cards, you can download the PDFs here and then just go to this website.
Yeah, exactly.
Also on Vita, Machinarium.
Nice.
Was free on Plus?
Yes, it was.
A week or two ago. So I blasted through that with a walkthrough. I mean, I know that's like the world's oldest game, but I'd never played it, and I really didn't have any interest in getting stuck in that kind of point and click. I don't know what to do next kind of stuff because I hate that frustration because those games get really obscure. Mm-hmm. So I just did a walkthrough and did the whole game in about 3 hours and got all the trophies, and I'm about to delete it. So it was good. It was good.
That's what I should do. Have you played that? No, I've played it on the iPad.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like the puzzles are stupid. Like at some point it's like, oh, I needed the plunger and this clump of dirt to get past this door. Of course I did. Why? What else would I possibly need? Like, just and weird combinations of things.
I just have a limited attention span for that kind of point and click, running in circles, not knowing what to do. So I wanted to see the story, the animations, which are both very good. The animations are always very, very cute in that game. So the walkthrough was perfect, and now I'm done with it. So good.
Good.
And Killzone Mercenary, which I was just talking to Tony about this one. Is that out yet? Like, I don't know what my embargo is on that. I gotta look that up. I'm terrible.
It is not out
terrible.
yet.
It's not out yet.
I think
it's out soon though,
I think
right?
It's out next week, maybe.
Okay,
Something
all right.
like that.
Okay.
I've been playing the multiplayer demo, and it's really good.
Yeah, it looks really good, isn't it?
It looks
really,
like a PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah.
It's what Drake's Fortune was supposed to be when they said, "Oh, it's going to be a PlayStation 3 experience," and it's like
it was close.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 3/4 probably.
Well,
but no, this Mercenary does look really good.
Nice. I can't wait to check that one out. For sure.
And on the Wii U side, the Wii U is getting more action than ever. Disney Infinity. We're up to like 45 hours on that.
Wow.
It's just my son likes it, and I have a great time playing it, going through the play sets and unlocking stuff. We did that show a couple of weeks ago. It was still a little early in the Disney Infinity discovery process.
Right.
And now that I've played it more, like I feel even better about it because the unlocking stuff that you didn't even know was in the game helps a lot to make it more value. I'm convinced that the starter pack is straight up worth it at that price.
Totally.
Once you have to accept the fact that there's toys that they had to produce and paint. Once you allot for that, I think there's enough gameplay in there to make the $75 worth it. And then, your option is to add on more, and you're probably going to be convinced to add on more, but like you probably wouldn't have to. You could single player your way through that and get enough hours of content out of your $75 with the toys and everything.
Yeah, I've been slowly going back to a lot of the play sets I've beaten and just going and doing different things, trying to get the 30 stars in each of the play sets. And you could easily spend 8+ hours on each of the play sets.
Is there an easy way to see the stars you need to get?
Yeah, you go. You bring up your mission list, and then you hit left or right to get to a different page.
I don't think I've ever done left or right on the mission list.
You don't. It's hard to even notice because it has little arrows at the top, which are, I think they're all faded out. Like they don't show that there's another page or whatever. But if you hit left or right, you get to the page, and then you can see all the stars you're missing.
That's one of those weird, bad UI things that game sort of has.
The UI. The UI is so stupid. Like some menus, you'll be in some playset or the Hall of Heroes, and you can go directly to another thing. And it's like, oh, I want to go to that thing, and you could go to it. But then you go to a different playset or into a toy box, and you can't go to that thing. It's like, but the menu's the same except for this one little,
very weird.
UI
very strange. That would be nice to get an update on that. But also Pokemon Rumble U, which is a Pokemon Rumble game.
Nice.
That's about all you can say.
Couldn't tell that from the title.
And it's the same game they've made twice already, except now it's probably a little worse because it's kind of missing some features that the 3DS version had. There's like some ancillary stuff that in Pokemon Rumble Blast that is not in Pokemon Rumble U. So I mean, it's not great. It's a button masher game. It's download only, so it's sort of on the cheap. It's like $17 or something.
Yeah, which I thought was a little much.
Yeah. It's cheap compared to the release of Pokemon Rumble Blast on 3DS as a retail release.
Right.
But yeah, it is a little, I think, on the pricey side. And you can get the toys for it if you want, the NFC toys, which is cool because they work right. I did. I went out and got a couple of them. They're a GameStop exclusive here in the U.S.
Sure.
And they're blind package, so you don't know what you're getting.
Fun.
There's 20, I think, of them, and I bought 4 and got 1 duplicate. So
we were
already beating the odds on that.
Yeah, no kidding. We were chatting in the chat room before doing the show, and apparently IGN did a video on Pokemon Rumble, and they opened up 20 blind packs and got all 20 figures. And I'm like, that had to have been something like directly from Nintendo. It's like, here, give them these blind packs, which is exactly one of every figure, because that is like the first 2 packs of discs that I bought for Disney Infinity. I got doubles already. Actually, I had 3 of one because I had the Cinderella's chariot in my base set that I bought,
Right,
and then I
right.
got one in each of the 2 packages that I bought, and it's like, what are the odds? Well,
Yeah,
apparently 3 and 20 are the odds.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah,
But yeah, Pokemon Rumble U. I mean, it's not great. It's just a very button mashy Pokemon game. A little different, a little cute, but it's pretty easily skippable in my opinion.
right.
And I can give my opinion because that game came out already, so there's no the embargo's open on that one. And I'm playing Wonderful 101, and I'm playing Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, which came out really early for review.
Wow. Yeah. Very
early.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You've played a lot
that
of
is a
stuff.
lot.
That's good.
I'm way behind already.
Cool.
They're asking in the chat room. Prometheus is asking if the figures, the Pokemon Rumble U figures, add to the game. I mean, they do and they don't. You don't need them at all. The benefit to the figures is that they're the only Pokemon fighters you can have in the game that you can enhance. You can add skills to them. You can upgrade them. So you can kind of like treat them like your old school Pokemon because this is your guy who's your absolute favorite, and he's the one you work with and deal with. And
Right.
you, so if you like that angle, maybe you'll be lucky and you'll get a toy that you like that you can keep upgrading, or you'll be like me and get Pokemon you don't really care about, and then you don't really feel like upgrading them because you don't really like that guy. Like I didn't get Pikachu or Mewtwo, which
Right.
would have been great if I'd have got Pikachu or Mewtwo. But so they add a little bit, but it's not required at all.
Interesting. I've never played Pokemon Rumble. I kind of want to get my kids into it, but then at the same time, I just realized how much money I'm going to be spending on Disney Infinity, and it's like, do I really
right.
want to buy more blind packs of stuff?
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
I do not.
Yeah, the Rumble figures are cheap. They're like $4, maybe $3-4, but they're blind, so you can get messed up in a way that you would not get messed up in Skylanders or Disney Infinity
Right.
when you're buying a figure.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, let's chat a little bit about what I've been playing. I played a good chunk of Dragon's Crown on the PlayStation 3.
Right.
I love beat 'em ups, side-scrolling beat 'em ups from way back in the arcade. Final Fight, Ninja Turtles, Simpsons, you name it. Every side-scrolling beat 'em up I played and loved.
Right.
So I immediately wanted this one. And everything that has been written about it online holds true. It is a super deep game. All the different character classes have so many different upgrade paths that you can do. You can level up each character to level 100, and even if you do that, you don't get to unlock every single spell, every single base skill. So there's definitely a lot of freedom to play this game. For me, my problem was Disney Infinity because I was playing that so much
Right.
that I couldn't spend the time with this one. And I ended up having to give it back. And I played it on the PlayStation 3. And I think this is definitely a game I'm going to be picking up on the Vita in the future and playing on the Vita kind of, I don't know, a few missions here and there. The game is divided up into smaller missions where it's like, go to this dungeon and kill this thing. So you go to that dungeon and you kill that thing, and then
Right.
you get bonuses and weapons and stuff, and really fun. Everything they said about the crazy art style with the sorceress, with like the gravity defying chest bouncing all over the place. And then what's that?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm grabbing a prop here.
The Amazon is equally as bizarre. Oh yeah, there you go. From your E3 pass.
Oh, yeah, on the E3 thing.
Yeah. It's an art style. Like I had a chat with Jeff about this. He's like, it's so sexist. And I'm like, well, no, it's not sexist at all. He's like, oh, it's 100% sexist. I'm like, no, it's an art style. And he's like, well, how come only the girls are drawn that way? I'm like, well, only the girls are drawn with breasts because only the girls have breasts. The guys are equally as huge and hulking. And he's like, well, that's not sexist. That's just a male power fantasy. And I'm like, dude, stop reading Joystick and Polygon and spouting out that garbage. It's equal for both of these characters. Both of the sexes, they're both equally as just like blown out of proportion.
See, I read a lot of comics, so I agree with Jeff. I'll back Jeff on that one.
Really? That you think that it's more sexist for the girls than the guys?
Oh, yeah, well, sure, because it's. I can pick up any comic that I've got here, and yes, you can talk about the guys having the muscles and Superman's got a skin tight costume, but yeah, it's different
But
when it's a male body and
Right.
it's something that's destined for male readers, and then they Yeah, I'll back Jeff on that.
I don't know about that.
I'll read Polygon and Joystick. I'll back in.
For me, it's the fact that like all the characters are equally as crazy. Like they're so out of proportion, like little pinheads on huge hulking bodies, or the crazy dwarf guy whose head is as wide as his shoulders, which is as tall as him.
Yeah, and that's true. They are definitely exaggerated, but for me, the difference would be that I think you'd be hard pressed to find a woman who would look at those pinhead male characters and be sexually attracted to it. Whereas
I guess so.
I could go anywhere and find a million dudes who would super climb all over that sorceress.
Yeah,
so I think that's
where
I think it's not equal.
Well, it's definitely not equal, but I don't know. I have a hard time calling it sexist when it's an art style. When you look at a lot of the manga that comes out of Japan, and that's how it's drawn. And I mean, it's more of a cultural thing than let's have this Western developer make a game with this girl with a huge chest, right? I don't know. I think it's a little bit different. I've had this discussion with a couple different people, and I've had both sides of the argument come out, and it's, I don't know. Tweets by the Tony in the chat room says it's a sexist cultural thing. So there you go. But I could see where all the furor was coming up online, and everybody was blowing up about it, and then it kind of died off, and you don't really hear too much about it, which is really sort of surprising with this game, especially with how much co-op kind of factors into it, where you could play with other people.
It's like anything. The news cycle has changed. The game came out. It's no longer new.
Yeah.
I mean, we go through so many days of hype over a new game's about to come out. And then the game comes out, and the next day, nobody cares. Nobody talks about it. They're on to the next thing. So it's like, it's probably more about that, where it's just, okay, we've had our talk about Dragon's Crown. It's not like they're changing the art. If you want it, you're playing it. If you don't, it's over.
Yeah.
And maybe you're embarrassed by it. I mean,
it's definitely not a game I would play with my children.
Yeah, I'm not playing it, and that art style has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, it is embarrassing. That is a good word for it. It's like, yeah, when you walk through the game, in each of the levels you can pick up a set of bones, and then you can actually resurrect those bones, and they become a character. And it's like, crap, the only ones I've resurrected are sorceresses, and I don't really want to have four sorceress or three additional sorceress running around with me with my barbarian or dwarf or whatever.
Are they just like palette swapped? Like this one's got a green hat, this one's got a blue. Okay,
totally. It's like this one's shirt is green and has blonde hair. This one is black hair and bluish kind of top, and it's the exact same character, which is really kind of funny when all the sound effects trigger at the same time, and it's just like
right.
It's like echo chamber of like grunts and stuff. It's like, all right, little bit off the deep end. I don't know. Yeah, so I've been playing Dragon's Crown, and that is about as far as I went with it. I played each of the character classes, got them up to about level 5 or 6, and then realized that Disney Infinity was a much more interesting pastime for me, and then I jumped into that. So that was Dragon's Crown. I've been playing a lot of Disney Infinity. After we recorded the special, I went and picked up the Lone Ranger set. Played a lot of that. Lone Ranger is, I think that's my number one set, followed by Pirates, and then I don't even know what would be my next one, because all the other ones are really good, but there's no standout kind of stuff. But
yeah, Lone Ranger is great because it combines guns with horses. So like Pirates has guns, but you're just walking around, or you're in that boat, which is so slow.
Yeah,
I mean, in Lone Ranger. Yeah, the dinghy's terrible. In Lone Ranger, you've got the guns and you've got the horses, so you're just like on the plane. I mean, it is Red Dead Redemption, in cutesy little toy form.
Yeah, it is surprisingly deep. Although I did run into some weird bugs with it, where I beat the boss, and the boss didn't die, but the walking into the sunset thing played, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I appeared back on the cliff where I killed the boss and jumped down.
Was that like the machine gun battle thing where you were shooting stuff at the silver mine? Okay.
Yeah, which was super annoying because things kept respawning. Like it was totally glitched from the start of it. Like I don't think it should have been as annoying for me as it was. Then I jumped down off the cliff. The train isn't moving because the train has stopped, and then the boss jumps out from behind something and then starts beating me up, and I was just like, but I just killed you. You died. Why are you hurting me now? So then
I found that to be the glitchiest one of the batch. You know how you can stop a train at a train station so you can customize it?
Mhm.
I had a train stopped at a train station, and it would not move at all. It was stuck there. I'm hitting the go button. I'm hitting go, stop, and it was still stuck there. And I realized that the reason why it wasn't moving was because the stop button was triggered at the other train station on the other side of town.
What?
I went out there, hit the go button there, and then I heard the train sound effects, even though I'm 40 miles away. So yeah, Lone Ranger's a little glitchy. It's a great set. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, it's a little rushed to market, perhaps.
Wow. So let me ask you this: when you beat that playset and you defeat the boss, does the train start moving again, or does it always say stay stopped?
No, it's moving again, yeah, because you can still do all the other little missions.
See, that's my thing. I have a whole bunch of like this person wants wood and this person wants water quests, but the train was just stuck, so it totally glitched out. I saved the game and went back in, and the train was moving again, but I didn't I didn't start doing any of that stuff. I've kind of left it for a bit, but yeah, I had a really weird experience with that. But super enjoying it. Looking forward to picking up cars for my daughter when she turns 6, which will be in a couple weeks. I think she'll really dig it as well, especially since there's the girl car and she loves playing with all the girl characters.
So you're up to 2 female characters.
Yeah. Or we have we have all the female characters right now.
Oh, okay.
Which is 2.
So you've got a lot more than I do.
And then 3.
That's right, because you get Mrs. Incredible and Violet and Holly Shiftwell, the car. So 3 total.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
more coming, more lady characters coming in the second wave.
Yep. So yeah, we've been playing that. I completed my set of power discs. And I bought the nice little power disc album, so all the discs are in there, which means I'm probably not going to play with them. And I don't know why I bought the album. It's like, this makes it less likely for me to jump in and play it. So,
after you told me, I did not know that the super rares had that lenticular on them.
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. So when you told me that on our show, I told my son that. And so then it was his job when we went shopping the next day to rub all the Disney Infinity packs and find those lenticulars. And danged if he didn't find 3 lenticulars and get all 3 of the rares.
Yeah, I was listening to
he beat the odds.
Well, there's a Disney Infinity podcast that I was listening to, and one of the guys that was a host on there, he's in Australia. And when the game came out after North America, it came out in Australia like a week later or whatever, he went to the store and he bought 2 sealed boxes of booster packs just to see what the likelihood of completing a set off of one box is. And apparently in both of his sets, he got a full set of rares in each of the boxes. So it sounds like in the 24 packs, there'll be 4 rare packs and the rest will all just be commons. So if you're lucky and you get to the store first before anybody else has gone and rubbed them, you have a good chance of getting all the rares. Really bizarre. I don't know why they did that, because that's obvious what people
it's such a giveaway for sure.
It makes me think that I'm never going to get a rare for like Series 2 or Series 3, because I'm not the kind of guy that will go to Toys R Us every day at opening and go rub packages. It's kind of creepy for an older guy to do that. It's a little bit easier
that's why I made my son do it. He's 8. He's sitting there rubbing all the packs, and that looks like I'm just a bad dad because I'm letting him just be stupid in the store. But really, we're being secret spies.
So I completed that. I had to buy a couple off of eBay. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like doing the trading thing. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, there's a trading event at Toys R Us tomorrow that we're going to go to, and I hope I can get some trades, because I am so tired of all the Rapunzel duplicates that we have.
I got like 5 Stitches guns.
Oh,
and it's just like,
I got 1.
You got 1. Well, if you need another one, let me know. I'll put it in the mail for you. But yeah, it's just like I tend to get those discs, that and Cinderella's Chariot or whatever.
Got a bunch of them too.
Bunch of those.
Hoping to flip a bunch of them tomorrow.
Yeah, and that event isn't in Canada. Like we get nothing. We didn't get any of the sales. Apparently at this event, it's like $20 off a starter kit, and buy 2 characters for $22 or $20 or something.
Yeah, something like that. And the power disc packs are 2 for $6.
Yeah, and if you show up first thing, you get a rare that isn't available anywhere else. You get one of the Tron.
Well, they're putting that in the blind packs.
Yeah,
The
but
Toys R Us exclusive blind packs.
there's also another one that each store is getting just the individual discs to give out
Ooh.
to people.
So we're gonna be.
It's like the power disc or whatever's the whatever it's called. Apparently, each store is getting an allocation of those that they're going to be giving out to kids that
3.
show up. Yeah, exactly. And we're not getting that up here in Canada. It's so disappointing because all the cool Disney Infinity stuff is happening in the States. So, oh well. I'm sure at one point it'll happen up here as well.
Right.
So yeah, that's Disney Infinity. I'm playing like crazy, man. I mean, every single day I play with my kids. I get home from work. We play for about a half hour. We eat supper, and then usually we play a bit before night. And it basically devolves into a couple things where either one of them is flying around with the bird that you unlock in the Lone Ranger. So they fly.
Best power up.
Oh, it is so amazing. They'll be flying around, and then my task is to find them and shoot them down with a plane, with the helicopter. Sorry, so I have to hit them with a missile, which is really kind of tough, especially if they jump on one of the shrinking pads before jumping up.
Right.
So they're like a really,
And especially if you're using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck.
oh god, yeah, it's terrible. So that is one of them, and then the other one is my daughter. When I play with her, she always plays with Violet. And she always goes invisible, and I have to run around, and then she has to kind of sneak up on me and pick me up and throw me. And that is the funniest game to her for some reason. And it's like, I can see your screen. I know when you're getting up to me. And she's like, don't look at my screen. Oh, okay, I won't look at your screen. So we're trying to do the no look thing from Mario Kart days way back in the
Right.
past. But she could do that for an hour, and that is the funniest, best thing for her. Like on the weekend, both kids played, and they did that for. It must have been about 2 hours. They were playing games like throughout the day for about 2 hours throughout the day. And they're doing the exact same thing. It's just, I don't know. This is just like totally speaking to them. So I know I will own every character because the kids, because just to extend their gameplay and stuff. And yeah,
Right.
I don't know. Disney Infinity, man. It's I don't know. It's got its claws in me for some reason.
Gripped.
Yeah, totally. So besides that, I've been playing some Terraria on my iOS still. Having so much fun with that, except for the fact that I think my game is glitched. Because if I ever try to talk to someone, like one of the vendors one of the townspeople that eventually come and settle in with you, if I try to sell something to one of the vendors, or I just try to buy anything, it crashes bringing up the menu. So I did this big like 1 hour mining expedition because I needed a bunch of different things. Came back, went to talk to him to sell some stuff I didn't need, and then it crashed, and I lost all of that progress, making me very sad. Tried it again. This could never happen again, and it happened again. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm going to wait for a patch, but having a lot of fun with that. And besides Terraria, I've also been playing Spelunky on my Vita, which just came out last week, and having a lot of fun with that. Wanting to throw my Vita across the room. Actually, my wife tweeted about it a couple nights ago that she's giggling at me being so angry at this little system, at wanting to throw his Vita. And actually, Tweets by the Tony said, "Oh, that's okay. It's only a Vita." And then she was laughing even harder at me for that. So if Tony was still in the chat room, I would thank him for that. That was good.
Yeah, the price drop on that thing. You can probably just get another one if you break it.
Yeah, what's $200 really?
Right, don't worry about that.
I mean, that's like, I don't know, 12 or 14 Disney Infinity characters, really.
Right.
And yeah, that's about it, man. So playing lots of stuff, not as much as you, but getting some fun in. Disney Infinity is kind of taken over my house. So
yeah,
I know I'll be doing that tomorrow. For sure. As soon as the kids wake up, they'll wake me up and can we go downstairs and play Disney Infinity before Mom wakes up? All right, we can do that. Yeah, that'll be my morning. Cool. All right, well, let's move on. Just want to give you guys a reminder of our email and how to contact us, vgpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email to be answered in the show, please do that, and then we can get back to you on a future episode. I think I have some for this week, but maybe we'll do that in a little bit. Let's talk about new releases. So this week, we had a nice little collection of games. Rayman Legends came out on Wii U, on PS3, on Xbox 360, and on Vita.
Only half on Vita.
Yeah, exactly. Have you been playing that at all?
No, I don't like Rayman.
Yeah, it wasn't on your I've been playing list, so I knew.
Yeah,
I knew the answer.
I as a character, I just think he stinks. He's just an awful little ugly man. I just hate him. I've always hated him.
Is he really a man? He's more just a floating head, floating hands.
I know. I hate that. I hate that most of all. The little limbless bit.
Yeah,
I don't like it. So I had the previous one. I had Rayman Origins because I got it when they did the big desperation price drop. And for sure, it was a good game. I never, ever played as Rayman. I played as the other big, stupid thing, whatever his name is, Globox, whatever. And yeah, so I'm not really in the tank for Legends. Although everybody says it's great.
Yeah, we were talking about it a lot yesterday before the Nintendo Pulse died. And I said that I've been reading a lot of posts about it being almost a system seller. It is the best game on the system. It is the best platformer, and it's the best version of Rayman Legends. And I'm like, is it really that good? And Steven was all over it. He was like, yeah, it's awesome. Right. It's the best thing ever. So I kind of want to play it now, but at the same time, I have Rayman Origins on my PlayStation 3. I bought it for Vita just before it became free on the Vita, which always makes me kind of angry. And I played like the first like world, and then that's enough for me. I don't need any more of Rayman. Just that little bit. So I spent money just for a little taste of the game. So I don't think I'll get the Wii U version, even though people are screaming up and down that it's so good.
Yeah, and the delay for Wii U reasons means that like I got plenty more to do in the Wii U now. Maybe in February, maybe when there was a hole, maybe I would have picked it up.
Sure.
But now forget it. There's too much stuff out there. There's too much stuff coming. No, I'm out.
Sinister in the chat room is saying that it's amazing and he's playing it now. So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, love it. I don't particularly enjoy the platformers anyway. So like, there's almost nothing in this game that's appealing to me except for how nice it looks.
So why haven't you bought 5 copies, Joe?
I know. I'm not doing my part to support Nintendo.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Or just Ubisoft in general, I suppose.
Exactly. So yeah, that's out and it's on everything. So check it out. Also have a couple other releases. Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate came out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. So if you have enough Dead or Alive, you can have more of it. And it's there.
Yeah, it's only the third version of Dead or Alive 5.
It's getting kind of awkward. It's like the Street Fighter thing. It's like,
what they've done is they've pretty much nailed this franchise as something that you sort of buy in the beginning so they can keep selling you swimsuit costumes later on. I mean,
totally.
It's just a swimsuit costume delivery system at this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting, you have Team Fortress 2 as hats, and Dead or Alive 5 has bikinis. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess. A little bit different, maybe. Yeah. That's out on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Diablo 3 came out as well on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. So if you haven't gotten enough of Diablo, you can play more Diablo.
I am so surprised at the great press that's getting, because I would have pegged that for being junk.
I would have thought,
and everybody says it's better than the PC version.
That everybody's saying that it's better because there's no auction house, which ruined the PC version.
There you go.
When it first came out, I was playing and I was leveling up a monk, and I was trying to get into the hardest mode. It was like hell mode or whatever.
Right.
I can't remember what the hardest mode is, but
Nightmare. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, the items on the auction house were appreciating faster than I could get the gold to buy them, and then I couldn't get any further. So it got to the point where it's like, okay, do I have to go and spend real money to play this game? Which was just ridiculous. So I kind of stopped playing Diablo 3 just because I was tired of the rat race, because of everything was just appreciating. This item that I was looking for was 1 million coins. And it's like, okay, I'll save up 1 million coins. Then it's like, oh, it's now 1.4 million coins. That's what it's worth now. Okay, I'll go kill some more stuff over and over again. Oh, it's 1.7. And so I was just like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to play it anymore. Personally, I do like Diablo 3. I love Diablo as a franchise. I just didn't like the auction house. I think it totally ruined the game. The thought of playing Diablo 3 without the auction house and without having to be online makes me very happy. So I know I will own this at some point in my life. I might wait for the PlayStation 4 version. I might wait for a price drop. I just don't want to pay $60 because I stupidly bought 2 copies of Diablo because I thought I was going to play with my wife, and then she installed it, and that was about it. She's like, yeah, I don't really like this one as much as the other one. It's like, oh. All right. So yeah, Diablo 3 is out. Get it if you want to do some loot hunting. Also out this week, Castle of Illusions came out on the PlayStation Network. And it is available now. Check it out. It's coming out on other stuff as well, but I don't believe it's out. Or I guess it would be out now on Xbox 360, isn't it?
I don't know.
Something like that. So anyway, it's available. Go check it out if you want to replay a reimagining, I guess, of Sega Genesis classic. It's not like DuckTales Remastered where it was a pixel for pixel recreation. This is new levels that are inspired by the levels that are there. So I didn't know that, and I didn't buy it because I was like, okay, I just played one remake. And then I was talking to Steven, and he's like, oh, no, it's not the same game at all. It's like, oh, crap. I should have pre-ordered it because I would have got the Genesis version, and then I could have played this one.
Yeah. Last I looked, Castle of Illusion had the same mediocre reviews that DuckTales Remastered has. So, I think Disney's probably about ready to bow out of this game on this one.
They're just going to make those characters for Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity, a money machine.
Totally.
Mediocre remasters of retro games. All right, let's get out of here. Hit the road.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this is I guess they didn't have to develop themselves, so they have no studios to close down.
Right.
Which is good.
True.
Because that would be, it's ugly and dirty, and they get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
Writing letters just not good for Disney. So.
Castle Illusion was Sega, right?
Yeah.
Sega did the new one. Sega did the new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't close down Sega.
They could try.
I suppose they could try. Yes. Sega's been trying for years.
I was going to say they're not very good at it. Maybe this needs someone to come in and make it stick, I guess. All right. Let's get into the rest of the show. We'll get into the news. We got a release date for the Xbox One. I'm just not very excited about this because it seems really bizarre. But anyway, Xbox One coming out on November 22nd, so a week after the PlayStation 4.
In the U.S.
In
North America.
Yeah, that's right. So that means that it's the week before Black Friday. So it's just really weird. So you could, a week earlier, you could buy a system that is $100 cheaper. Or the next week you can buy a system that's $100 more expensive, or the next week you can get something that is on a crazy sale. So
right.
I thought I could predict how this was going to go. I have no idea how this is going to go now. I know you're going to have the crazy people that are going to line up and buy it day one, but it's like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, is there going to be some crazy Black Friday sale from Microsoft where you get 3 games with the system just to push people to buy it? Like, yeah,
there'll be some kind of doorbuster deal. I mean, you can smell those coming. There'll be something.
It's gonna be interesting. A lot of industry analysts are saying that the Xbox One is going to sell about a quarter of what the PlayStation 3 is going to sell in its first year. And I'm like, really? I don't know about that. I mean, the $100 price isn't that much, especially when you have a lot of Xbox that love Xbox Live, that is how they want to play games. I really doubt that the $100 difference is going to make that big of a deal, but
they'll all buy it within the first day, week, month, and then the real test comes of what happens by February. How many are we still moving?
Once people people have bought all the systems to get their day one achievement,
right?
Then it's
the hardcore.
The people that come after. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But a lot of stuff's coming out in November. It's going to be interesting. November 22nd is also the date that a whole bunch of Nintendo games come out at the same time. So places like EB Games are they're building their Scrooge McDuck money bins to dive in after
bringing in the seasonal staff.
Yeah, exactly.
To man the register.
It's going to be nuts. But
it always is. There's always tons of releases right around shopping season.
Totally. Some other Xbox news. Microsoft has announced that their system is in full production mode, which is pretty obvious if you know how manufacturing works. It takes a long time to assemble this stuff in China and put it on a boat and sail it across the ocean and get it in through customs and all that stuff so it can be sent across the country. But what they're doing apparently before it gets boxed is they've actually changed, I guess, the firmware to make the Xbox One CPU faster. So it has a 150 megahertz increase to its clock speed. The GPU had already been announced that it had a like a 53 megahertz increase from what it was before. So it was 800, now it's 853 megahertz. Their internal clock is 1.75 gigahertz for the CPU, where it used to be 1.6 gigahertz. So that's kind of neat, but it's all stuff that they could have pushed in a patch after the fact as well. So this isn't such huge news because the way systems are developed nowadays, it's all in the firmware. So you push an update, it changes the clock speed. It's not like they have to put a new CPU or anything on it. But they put it out in a press release. They wanted to let people know. I guess because they were getting a lot of flack that the PlayStation 4 was a faster, better
anything for
machine.
Positive press at this point.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, a lot of Xbox stuff. You can get it on the 22nd, and it's going to be faster than what you thought it was, and you can still watch TV on it. And there you go. Did you see they're putting out Xbox commercials right now talking about the release date? Have you seen one of those yet?
I saw people talking about them, and they seem to be lacking something.
Yeah. What was the big problem with Microsoft back when they first unveiled the Xbox One? Let me think back to that.
Sports, TV. Did you see those supercuts where somebody went through and the announcements, and they're really funny.
They're hilarious. And I thought Microsoft would still be wiping egg off their face, but apparently not, because this commercial just talks about football and watching live television and playing fantasy football on your television. It's just so bizarre.
The way television production works, they had that commercial done probably in June. Probably before that. So this was done before they had to redo all of their promises, and when they were still trying to hit that sports TV thing. And you pay for something like that, you're probably going to want to try to show it. So they've tried to find the best audience, and I guess it ran in football, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
So it's maybe it won't see a wide release commercial. Like that may not be the commercial you see at the movie theater when you go see something, but
they had to put it out.
Yeah, they paid for it.
Billions spent.
They had to show it.
They had to get it at least on air a little bit.
Yeah.
Microsoft. I don't know. It's fun to laugh, I guess, is what we'll say.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's get into some Sony news. There's a rumor that Sony is working on a virtual reality headset, and they're going to be showing it off at TGS. Pretty interesting stuff. The Oculus Rift is getting a lot of buzz.
Right.
And Sony has been experimenting with VR products forever. It's been a long time. I think this is their fourth iteration of VR products. And apparently it's this big rumor. But I saw a news post, which I lost through some of the crashes that were happening earlier. But apparently there was an article on Giant Bomb. I'm just trying to pull it up right now, where it's not a rumor anymore. It's confirmed. And one of the headsets is actually a $2,000 headset, not meant just for gaming. But the other one is actually going to be a consumer product slated for next year that will come out.
That'll be like $400.
That is going to be more Oculus Rift pricing, and it will be as an add-on for the PlayStation 4. But apparently the $2,000 model will work with the PlayStation 3 and the Sony televisions.
Why? Why does Sony do this? Why does Sony always think that the answer is to make some more expensive tech equipment? The 3D glasses, the 3D TV sets, the 4D TV sets. They always think the answer is some more expensive consumer device.
Yeah, well, they tried making people work 2 jobs, and that didn't work out so well for them. So maybe the answer is you have to work 3 jobs, and that will get people all jazzed
I'm glad the PS4 is at the price point that it came at, because, man, Sony's history says they just think we're not spending enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bizarre. Unfortunately, I can't find the article right now. I had it bookmarked or I had it open in a tab rather, but through the reboots trying to get the problems working, I lost it. So
right.
But yeah, apparently it is confirmed they will be showing something. Hopefully they're not showing the expensive one. Hopefully they're saving that for CES, not TGS, and that they'll show out the $200 model that's going to be coming out next year, or whatever that lower price point is going to be. But yeah, VR headsets are pretty cool. What else is cool? How about speaking to your system? Don't you love that, Joe? Talking to your computer or talking to your console?
I curse at them.
Yeah, I swear a lot. Spelunky Spelunky's ears would be bleeding if he could hear what I was saying about him. But there is a a blog post or a tweet that Sony sent out that says, "Can you hear me now?" And it showed a picture of the PlayStation Eye. So they're kind of sneakily, I guess, I don't know, leaking this information, but not really leaking it.
Right.
It's kind of a weird thing that they're doing, but apparently the PlayStation 4 will have voice capabilities, so you can actually do things with your voice on the system.
Right. Well, it's a bullet point off the Kinect list.
Yep.
This is the one thing that everybody says. Well, Kinect is pretty cool because I get to yell at my TV like that and have it do stuff. And so this is Sony just trying to take that bullet point away. It's pretty typical console war stuff.
Yeah, totally. It's just really weird with all the hate that Microsoft got about having a camera in your living room listening to everything that you do. Maybe that's why Sony's downplaying it.
Right? Yeah. They're not making it a big deal, but it is a bullet point off the list of exclusivity, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. There's a quote from an article on Polygon that says, "When you add the PlayStation camera into the mix, the pair works together to expand upon the system features and enhance your PlayStation 4 experience."
Oh boy, my experience is enhanced.
The new stereoscopic lenses track your body movements in games or even recognize your face easier. Or your face easier system navigation. That is terrible. Your face for easier system navigation.
How dare they co-op the thing we all hated the most about Kinect?
It's really funny. And I don't know. I remember when they had the big presentation recently, and they were showing off the PlayStation Eye, and some of the screenshots that they put up on the screen made it look like the PlayStation Eye was going to come with the PlayStation 4. Like it was actually
there was a lot of debate about that.
And they haven't said either way if it's going to come in the box. They just said that it's going to be available separately, but they could easily make it not available separately and just include it in the box if that's the route they want to go.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not in the box.
I wouldn't think so. But it's just really confusing. It's like, okay, so I can use this thing with the thing, do my other things that I bought from you, the glowing things, my PlayStation Move controllers, do that work with this thing? Can I do things with my thing? It's really, really bizarre. But I guess they're trying to keep out of the mudslinging that's going on with tracking your every movements and pinpointing your location to the NSA.
Wisely played.
But if you like voice commands, you will be able to talk to your PlayStation 4 and have it do stuff.
Why isn't there a microphone like right on the controller?
Yeah, I mean it has a headset port which has a microphone, so
yeah,
maybe you can do it that way. Maybe you can do it right through your controller. You don't need
without that way. You wouldn't need the camera angle at all. You just have the microphone / speaker right there in the controller, and if you want to yell a command, that picks it up.
That would be very cool. Hopefully that actually happens, because I would actually maybe use it if I could do things.
Yeah.
I probably would never use it, to be honest with you. I don't like that stuff. So yeah, PlayStation 4 getting some good news and some interesting things. We'll see what happens out at TGS. Moving on, Rayman Legends. We talked about it at the start of the show. The Vita version, which was supposed to ship feature complete with all the other versions, even though it was about $20 cheaper, actually shipped with fewer levels. There are the invasion levels, which are basically, I guess, redone versions of other levels. So you play through the level and then you play through invasion mode. So they're kind of like reskins or whatever.
Yeah,
they weren't there. So I guess the teensies, which are the collectibles in this game.
Right.
In every other version, there's 700 teensies in the game. In the Vita, there's only 615. So of course the internet, being what the internet is, flew off the handle. It's like, how dare you not give me all the stuff that is in the other stuff for the thing that is cheaper than the other stuff.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, they kind of flew off the handle. So much so that there was an official blog post over at Ubi that basically said, "Don't worry, it's coming." Because of development issues, things took longer to create on the Vita, and we had to leave out some stuff, and it will be coming later on as a free patch at a later date.
Because no one on staff actually owned a Vita at the time of development. We did not have these levels ready.
But at the same time, you're porting stuff from one system to another, and you're actually using a framework that you built, which already runs on the Vita. So there really is no porting. recompile is all you have to do. But I guess maybe they tried to not include some stuff or forgot maybe the intern that was in charge of putting these levels on the disc called in sick that day or something. But that stuff will be coming at a later point. So
at least it's coming.
Don't worry, Vita owners. You don't have to spit venom at Ubisoft. They will make good on their promise. Even though the Vita version comes with levels that aren't in any other version, which is weird.
Oh, does it? It's got some exclusive levels?
Yeah, it's got some Vita back touch kind of levels.
Oh,
it's so weird. Anyway, people in the internet are funny, Joe. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that at all?
I've heard that. I haven't been on the internet very much, but I've heard people talk.
It's a series of tubes, Joe. It's not a truck. It's not a truck. It's a series of tubes.
I assumed it was just maybe one or two.
No, that was Internet 1.0. We've upgraded past that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good. All right, moving on. Let's get into some more great news. This one kind of popped up out of nowhere and set the internet ablaze. And that is a new Kickstarter from a company called Concept USA, which you may recognize. It's called Mighty Number 9, and it is actually KJ Inafune's new company. He left Capcom all upset because they canceled every Mega Man game, and he was really, really pissed off. And then they laid dormant for a while because I guess he probably had some non-compete clauses in his big money hat that they gave him, I'm sure. Well, he basically unveiled his new project, and it's called Mighty Number 9, as I said, and it is Mega Man. Mm-hmm. It is essentially an HD version of Mega Man, which I want. So I'm not saying this is a bad thing. This is a very good thing, but it's actually really kind of funny. And so it's been on Kickstarter for 6 days, so not even a full week, and it's already raised almost $1.8 million of its $900,000 goal. So they've doubled their goal in a week, and they have stretch goals all the way up to $2.2 million, which they're probably going to hit in another week. And that stretch goal at 2.2 million is PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Wii U versions of this game.
Right. If we learn nothing else from Kickstarter, it needs to be that there is a lot of money in the world. A lot of money. If we can raise $2 million in a week for another freaking Mega Man game, it's a lot of money in the world.
Yeah, we could make many water holes in different parts of the world that don't have water, and we could say here's well money. Let's start up Well Starter and get some wells. This one looks like Mega Man, so you'll want to give us money for it.
The video on that Kickstarter page is fantastic.
It is so
fantastic,
so good. It was done by what's the name of that company in Japan? I know I'm being very specific here.
It's a great
8-4. Is it 8-4? Is that the name? Yeah.
They did a fantastic job.
But anyway, they're helping them with their Kickstarter. And the video is really cute because at one point he's walking through the city and he walks by this girl with a red dog, and it's just like
I get it.
I was like,
I get it.
I was like, I wonder if that is just a coincidence. Like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like that looks like Rush. That's really weird.
Right. Like, he's wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah, and then. Then he goes to the next area and he's at a construction site and he looks through the fence, and then this construction guy turns around and he's wearing a hard hat with the plus on it, and I'm like, that's Mega Man. Oh my god,
good. It's so good. And I hate Mega Man. I hate the games, I hate the character, I hate the whole thing.
Oh really? You're not a Mega Man fan?
I hate him. I don't enjay those games one bit. But that video was great. I would put money in this Kickstarter just for the video. It's so good.
It's really good.
Good.
Well, actually, there's going to be a making of documentary because they've already.
I would watch the heck out of that.
It was at 1.75 million, and they're past that. They're at 1.781 million. So there will be a making of documentary. So I'll be buying in at some point. I haven't done that yet. I love documentaries. Yes. I love them.
I would much rather watch a documentary about Mega Man than actually ever play Mega Man in my time. I'm being asked in the chat room, how do you hate Mega Man? Because I don't like that you've got to be perfect platformer junk. I hate that.
So you loved Mega Man 9 then, which was even more Mega Man
absolutely not.
than
Never
the Mega
touched
Man.
it. Refused to touch it. No interest at all.
Do you hate Ice Cream 2? Trey Too Fast is asking in the chat room. Do you kick puppies, Joe?
If they tell me that I should play Mega Man, I will kick them.
If they have a Mega Buster on their arm, I will kick them.
No interest at all. And I do like Inafune kind of like telling Capcom, you can go ahead and come at me if you feel if you feel there's some kind of a lawsuit thing here, because this is so very similar to Mega Man. If you think there's infringement, go ahead, but I don't think you got a case. And I like that too. So I like him.
I really like him. I really
don't care about his game.
It's kind of funny because one of the first questions that people ask is like, doesn't this look a little bit like Mega Man? And he's like, well, since I am the creator of Mega Man, this is my art style. So any other games that I make will kind of have the same look and feel. He's totally he's teasing Capcom, which I love because
I think that's funny.
Like, what was the name of the Mega Man game that he was working on? Like Mega Man Legends, I think it was called.
Universe?
Was
that the one that was the big crossover one where you're going to have like a Street Fighter Mega Man?
Yeah, you had different Mega Man parts and bodies and things, right? It sounded so awesome, like especially the Vita version where you could take a picture of your environment and then Mega Man would appear in the game in that environment, and you could platform. Like there's all this like crazy stuff they were thinking about. I was so behind that. I wanted it, and then they canceled it, and then every other Mega Man game canceled, and then he left the company. I'm glad he did because this game looks fantastic.
It's because I'm in charge of Capcom now. I'm actually the president of Capcom, and I said, Mega Man sucks, dude. You're out.
Oh, see, it all makes sense now.
It was me.
It makes sense. So yeah, the game looks great. Obviously, it's pre-production stuff. They don't even have the engine working, I'm sure, but it looks fantastic. I'll be kickstarting this just because I can't wait, I guess. Even though I'm going to have to wait. This game isn't going to be coming out.
Right.
They're saying it's coming out in April 2015, so it's a year and a half away. So you can throw money at it now and then wait for a year and a half to get what you're going to be getting. But it looks really good. If nothing else, I'm going to back it just so I get emails of all the updates, because all the updates have been really amazing. Really, really good. They've already had a whole bunch of communications, and videos that are in Japanese with the dubbing. They're getting an amazing amount of fan art sent in, and they show a lot of it on their website. I saw on Twitter today some guy made a Beck hat, which that's the name of the new character in this game is Beck. Someone made a little beanie that was shaped like Beck, and so the Mighty Number 9 Twitter is like, we love it. Do you know the name of this person that made it? We want to get in contact with them. So they're totally just feeding off all of the love that they're getting. So if nothing else, it's just going to be a cool like love in to all the people that love Mega Man from way back in the day and are pissed off that it got ground into the ground by Capcom. And
that's what Kickstarter's for.
Yep, totally.
Unite the people who love something and get $1 million out of them.
Yeah. Wow. To almost 2 million.
Yeah, and more, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure this one's gonna finish at more than 3 million. Like, it's got to happen. If it's done a 1.8 million in a week, I mean, it's gonna be high. And they've already had 30,000 and change backers. So, I mean, that's a lot of people that want a Mega Man game. So, very cool. So, check it out. Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter. You can go to Kickstarter.com and search for Mighty NO9, or you can go to our page and link over. We'll put the link to it in the show notes. All right. Next up, this is interesting. So, Nintendo announced that they're going to be coming out with Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker soon, but they're also talking about an HD limited edition, which came with a statue, and everybody's like, "Oh, that looks really good." And then Nintendo said it's going to be limited to GameStop, so it's going to be an exclusive to the company that you love to hate. But Nintendo at this press conference said that its MSRP is $55. So everybody was like, "Oh, it's only $5 more than the $49.95 real version. This is awesome." Then GameStop updated their website, and it wasn't $54.95; it was $59.99. And people kind of, you're biting your fingers. That's exactly what they were doing. Brace for impact. People went ballistic online, which they're wont to do, I guess. So GameStop, I guess, got so many emails, so many comments, so many tweets, where they actually responded via an email to one person that emailed them, and their email read, "The price you're referring to is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. This is the price. This is the price that the manufacturer suggests retailers typically set for a particular product. However, retailers evaluate pricing based on many factors, including current demand, features, and availability. Often prices will follow MSRP, but not always. Please note that the prices in store may differ than that on the website." If you read between the lines, "We're evil bastards, and we know that we have a monopoly on this game that everybody wants.
Right.
We're going to charge you whatever we want, and you will pay it because you are Nintendo suckers. Remember all the games that we're selling you for the Wii that we're getting reprinted and we're selling for $30 more than retail? What else would you expect from us?" So that's pretty much what their email said. Personally, I don't really care. I'd pay $60 for it if I wanted the statue. I don't really care too much, but it's just another sign of, like, if you do some Twitter searches for people talking about this GameStop and Legend of Zelda HD, you'll see some really interesting tweets. Enough to ruin your faith in society, I guess, or renew your faith in society. Depends on what side of the argument you fall on, I guess. Are you a glass half full kind of guy, or a glass was nuked by a neutron bomb kind of guy? Depends.
What I think is interesting is that Nintendo has obviously made this available to GameStop, and do you think it's some kind of like reparation for that they're doing the digital release earlier? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of us are just going to get the digital release, and the heck with ever leaving our house.
Yeah.
And by putting that statue in there, that's a we need to get people back into retail. That's an exclusive you can only get at retail.
And then this is GameStop saying, "Crap, we lost all this profit. We make $10 per game that we sell, so let's sell a bunch of these for $5 more, and we'll kind of split the difference for all the sales that we're not getting." Yeah, it could be kind of them. They got the peace offering, and then they kind of spat on it a little bit, but are going to proceed to sell it in any way.
I do like that. Well, suggested retail price.
Let me break out my dictionary. Let me give you the definition of suggested. Yeah.
Why don't you guys sit down while I tell you how retail works?
Yeah, it's kind of very condescending for an email, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's not like
you just know the social media jerk at GameStop that day had just had enough. That's it. I'm responding to this one.
Came into work, spilled coffee on himself. Someone was in his parking spot.
Copier was broken.
Yeah, he got his tie caught in the elevator on the way up and choked himself a bit.
Boss is telling him, "You do not. But nope, he finally broke. 3:00 in the afternoon. He'd had enough. This one guy's
to get you to go ahead and come in on Sunday. We're getting a lot of emails you have to respond to." And then he snapped, and that happened.
Yep.
Oh boy, GameStop. What else are you going to do next to make us laugh? But please do it, because I love laughing. All right, let's move on to our last story. This was actually kind of cool. There was a fan-made, I guess it's an homage to Time Splitter, which was a really awesome game way back in the day. Do you like?
I had the very first one.
Or is it like Mega Man to you?
No, it was all right.
Okay,
this is definitely better than Mega Man.
I was scared that every game I talked about this week you actually hate.
All right, I despise Rayman. I despise Mega Man. No, I had the very first Time Splitters, and I can't remember what I had it for.
Probably GameCube?
Yeah, or was it PS2?
Yeah. I played it. Remember. I played it on GameCube, I think.
I know I definitely had it, and it was
so much fun.
Yeah, it was a fun first-person shooter at a time when I wanted a fun first-person shooter.
Yeah, really, really good. So there was a group of people that went together and they made something called Time Splitters Rewind. It's a version of Time Splitters that's done in the Crytek engine. Obviously these people don't own the IP at all. The IP is actually owned by the Crysis developers right now. So Crytek actually owns the IP for some strange reason. So they appealed to Crytek saying, "We would like to release this for free with your blessing." And they kind of threw it out there. Well, the Crytek is actually going to help them. So it's Pantheonics, I guess is the name of the group that is doing this. and they're actually going to help them. So when has this ever happened in the past? Like good fan related
fan
stuff.
mod gets accepted.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a pretty rare thing.
This is actually like, this reminds me a lot of like the early 90s kind of stuff where someone would make a really awesome Quake mod, and next thing you know, they're being hired by id to come work as a standalone team or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, this is really, really interesting. So basically, Nick Button Brown, the general manager of games for Crytek, says, if you can't beat them, join them. The developer will continue offering assistance to the independently developed project. Timesplitters Rewind is a fantastic initiative that Crytek continues to support. Pantheonics is currently developing Timesplitters Rewind using the Cry engine. So yeah, I'm blown away. When I first heard news about it and saw screenshots, it's like, okay, that's going to last an hour. It's going to last, maybe a couple more hours, because the lawyer's office probably aren't open on that side of the country yet. Give it a couple more hours for the lawyers to get in, and then the letters will be sent and it will be shut down. But no, sure enough, it will be. It's not only going to be coming out on PC, it's going to be coming out on a PlayStation 4 and published by Crytek, I guess. So.
I guess it helps that all the elements were in-house, that they used the Crytek engine, that whatever they are, they own it. Like it probably made it a little bit easier of a decision to help them out. Yep, exactly. Apparently they're going to be having a closed alpha this winter, and the PlayStation 4 is going to have 4-player split screen, which you won't get on the PC. So you can get back to the days of 4-player split screen. I can just imagine, like with the PlayStation 4, it can probably do 4 PlayStation 3 quality screens at one time. I'm sure it would have enough horsepower for that. So you could probably play a game that looks as good as the best game on the PlayStation 3 in each corner of your television with 4-player split screen. That kind of really makes me really excited. So yeah, Timesplitters Rewind will be coming out and will not be squashed by the IP owner. Something that never ever happens. So yeah, kind of amazing, kind of a feel-good story to end up this podcast. That's right. Very warm, very emotional. After all the venom spitting and worst character ever comments, this is kind of a nice way to round it out, Joe. I'm feeling better. It's feeling better. I'll leave it on an up note. Exactly. All right. Well, that's going to about do it for this episode. Joe, thank you for coming in and joining me at the last moment. Certainly. Always love having you on the shows. Why don't you tell people where they can find you? I'm moonlighting currently from our podcast, You Like the Worst Stuff, that I do with Tony Sadowski and Joe Haygood, that can be found at ggsgamer.com and in other podcast venues like Stitcher Radio and on iTunes. And it is a fun show, a laugh a minute type show. Aha! That's us laughing. So probably, yes, it is laugh a minute. It gets really annoying because they laugh every single minute. It's really kind of great. No, it's an awesome show. I love it. Thank you. And anybody that's listening to this would enjoy it as well. So go check it out in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. All right, guys, we want to hear from you. Head on over to vgpodcast.com and tell us how we're doing. Email us at vgpodcast@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. All right, Joe, again, thanks for coming out. And everybody listening at home, we will talk to you in a week's time. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Let's get started.